Hi, Sid. How are you doing?
Hello, all well, all well. How are you?
Nice, nice. Thank you so much. I'm all good. Just as you know, so Sid and I are in part of the same accelerator program. So many of the beans have been already spoiled for Sid of what this interview is about. I don't need to give him a
Yeah,
overview. He's doing it himself. um, to start, can you Sid give us an overview of your background? How old are you? What's your background in like what you've done professionally? What you're currently doing?
awesome. Sure. So, I'm 28. I actually turned 28 yesterday, and
Happy
uh,
birthday!
I thank you. And I'm an MBA grad. My formal education is all along being in business studies. Uh, my undergrad was a rather broader business studies, major. So it covers some amount of STEM courses, plus what they define as management sciences, right? So economics, statistics, and yeah, and then followed by an MBA. I think during college is when I formed a lot of my you know deep-seated interest in consumer tech, and therefore also venture into try to work with companies, take internships in the same space. Uh, Further strengthened my interest in blockchain with a bunch of side projects, and I think that's where most things culminated into an interest in the broader consumer tech space, and uh, also to pursue entrepreneurship. So yeah, I think after my MBA, I ended up working for about 4 years in uh, first at a consumer electronics company for about just over a year, in an entrepreneur in residence role, and then followed by working with the ad tech team of a large consumer e-commerce company based in India. After which I started Vinci. Vinci uh, is a play in the AI video space. The idea that we're right now working on is to make AI videos easier for marketers. Specifically, what we have identified is that there are a lot of use cases uh, that today, which are being traditionally pursued by marketers, take efforts, take time, take cost, which can be there's a huge delta to cover if you are a marketer today working on traditional mediums, if you were to switch to AI, right? And we're trying to capture that delta by building dedicated use cases and possibly uh, venture into a marketplace and platform format to scale these use cases for all marketers and creators.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah,
So we're gonna do this interview, if you agree, in two parts. One, we're gonna talk specifically about Vinci. So
mm,
Vinci is your B2B startup. Am I correct?
that's right. Yes,
Yes. So, and just to summarize, and correct me if I'm wrong, main service that Vinci provides to brands out there is video advertising videos.
that's right. Yeah, marketing videos, not just advertising. Like there are a bunch of other non-advertising but still marketing videos that we also do.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Can you walk us through the flow of first year user? If when you want to onboard them, why would you come to your platform, and
Yeah,
then what's the process that they go through to arrive at their destination, at their desired destination?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, sure. So, see, the discovery is actually rather straightforward. So, if you're a marketer today, uh, you're you're most likely already working with or looking for video agencies who can help you with your video marketing assets and content. And there are specific pain points that we've identified that typically these marketers face. For example, video agencies tend to take a while to turn around these video assets. They typically cost a bomb. which, let's say, a small or medium sized business cannot afford. uh, and then there is just this speed of experimentation that is now warranted, right, given the AI boom and so on. So as far as the discovery process go, it's the idea is to be able to communicate that all of these issues or pain points that I've pointed out are circumnavigable. They can be they can be solved for using the right AI solution. So those are some communication that we're trying to make, and we're doing this across various platforms. Uh, of course, I would be honest. Um, we've got our initial set of users largely from personal network and people. So I come from a marketing background. My previous job was as a product marketer. So I've worked with a lot of agencies back in India and in the US and some part of Middle East as well. So there is like some amount of personal network that I've leveraged at least for the initial customers. But now at least most of our inbound is from either search engines or inbound content after customers have looked at our social media, right? So and social media, when it comes to social media, we're largely doing content around the fact that you can experiment at scale, the fact that you can reduce your video production costs by almost like 10x, the fact that you can put out a campaign in a matter of a single day as opposed to what would typically take, let's say, 2 weeks to 4 weeks.
That's nice. Yeah. So you mentioned that most of your customers currently come from your personal network, essentially. Um, do you use any venue to shine? Like, try. Do you what's your main weapon of choice when you wanna shill Vinci Studio? Essentially, when you want to um, do a campaign, do whatever that onboards new customers.
Got it. So I think there are two parts to this, right? One is that our initial set of customers have come from personal network, but we've stopped. We know that it's going to get saturated at some point, and we want to develop a genuine organic way of doing it. So I think that among the more organic channels that we are looking at right now, I think search engine optimization, including AI, AI chatbot optimization, is something that we're looking at deeply, right? So we're trying to optimize for how well can we rank on, let's say, ChatGPT prompts, or how well can we rank on Google's AI overview and so on. So there's some work that's happening there, and right now we're getting about uh, you know like roughly 5,000 to 10,000 hits a day, just out of this search optimization.
That's really cool. It's just people organically through search finding about Vinci.
Yeah. So essentially, if it's some marketer out there of a small business searching something like, hey, uh, AI ad creator or AI education video creator, something on those lines, right? And then they're discovering Vinci.
Nice, great job. Good job on finding all those leads, essentially. Um, Now, can you walk me through the customer journey? So I've found you through an ad or like just organic search,
Mm.
and I want to create a video.
Yeah.
What's my UI?
Yeah. So there are two broader journeys that we're looking at. One is if you're a small business, you're typically looking for a subscription and you want to do the legwork yourself, versus you're somewhat of a mid to large size business and you have monies in your pocket and you don't want to do the legwork, right? So if you're a smaller creator, let's say if I was the one who's looking to popularize Vinci using Vinci, right? So I look up what is the AI video creator that I can use for marketing videos. Uh, I land up on a landing page. I see the subscription plans. Currently, the subscription plans are uh, created in a way that for a very small amount of money, I can at least try and see if this works, right? So starting at $5, I can just go ahead and try and see if these video generations are going to make sense for me. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I pick up one of those subscription plans. I land upon a page where I see a lot of uh, right now 6 different use cases that are useful to me as a marketer. Right? So that includes text to video or prompt to video generation, which will give me the main video asset. Uh, a couple of clipping tools, essentially to clip, let's say, a longer video. Let's say if I have a podcast or something on those lines. Uh, and let's say if I want to create a static ad, we also have image manipulation. Uh, and there is a lip sync tool if we want to create avatar based videos, right? Of a real human talking about a product. So these are some tools that we have given to the marketers who are landing on a platform and pick up what they want to do. And then there's a workflow that follows, right? So if I pick up lip sync, I get to select which avatar I want to make speak about my product, select that avatar, type in the text that I want, and get the video. Uh, so that's the today method of doing it. We eventually also want to pivot into like an agentic format where somebody can just email their ask, and then uh, our platform gets back to them with, here are 3 options that seem useful to you, and let's take it from there. Why don't you send us your assets and get the video created, right? So we are still building that in house. But yeah, I think that will be a natural transition from what the SaaS journey looks like to what an agentic journey looks like.
Nice. So just to see if I have captured it correctly, the UI is like the 6 different things that are important to me. I choose my destiny. Is like in Mortal Kombat, you chose your column,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then it's
And
prompt.
yeah,
Then it's
it's
prompt.
searchable as well. Yeah, it's searchable as well.
Okay.
So right now it's just 6 workflows. The what we anticipate is going to be hundreds of workflows, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we're still early stage in that effect. So once we have those hundreds of workflows, there will obviously be a search aspect to it as well. So think of this as a marketplace or a platform for all marketing video use cases. Yeah,
Sorry, my toddler's at the door banging again.
no worries.
Yeah, I've got this boss that bosses me around and right. So yeah, I totally understand. But then essentially the flow from there on, after you've selected your track, is prompt engineering, right? So like I submit prompts and then follow on prompts to cook up what I am looking for, right? Is that the UI, like a chat box, and then, or is it
For
different?
one of the workflows, no, it's not a chatbot right now. It's actually almost like a uh, it's a SaaS tool
Is
in
it wizard
particular. So
next
there's
next?
yes, yes. No, there are no necks per se. It's a single window. So, for example, if you want to generate video asset, you select the generate video assets workflow. You go there, and that's where you can either input a prompt or you can input a single frame out of which you want to generate a video. And then you click generate, the video happens, right? And then you
Okay.
can download it.
So you'd say
So,
the UI is more like Premiere than ChatGPT.
yeah, yeah. So it's more like a video editor than ChatGPT.
Okay, got it. That's so cool. Okay. All right. I think I've got the gist of it. Next, now bridge. Let's bridge to that initial thing that we talked about, like a
Yeah,
stage for shining, essentially, with Vinci Studio.
right.
And I know that you had an interest in B2C before. I want to see how have you explored it further.
Yeah. So I think as a platform, the idea to do B2B first is because that's where the money is. We eventually do want to be B2C. I think the closest trajectory that we see in the Web2 traditional world is Canva. So Canva, if you think about it, did start with a B2B inclination and eventually became like a mass product, right? Uh, I think we are going to be very similar, probably uh, not as much of a software tool but more of an agentic tool. That is where maybe like in future we will build that chatbot where you can just prompt engineer your way into getting a video. um, and we are like sort of on the way to do that, because we do have like search, for example, implemented today, right? That search will turn into a prompt box later. So yeah, I think uh, the B2C inclination still stands today, because just like there are marketers, there are also creators who have very similar use cases. They want to do social media, um, and if you think about it, any content is marketing. So uh, so in that case, any content creator is also a marketer and therefore a user, right? So uh, and uh, and that will probably make us go B2C. Right now, we're just not focused on that because we want to be sharper uh, in our initial days, right? So we want to crack like one or two use cases very deeply and be like a better product in those use cases, attract users, and then keep on giving expanding our scope of workflows use cases. Which is where I was saying there will eventually be like hundreds of use cases. Today there are just six.
Nice. I'm gonna ask you a question that's I'm sure you've heard a million times. I just want it on the record.
Yeah,
What's very special about Vinci Studio? What's the difference between Vinci and if I just use Sora? What's the value add?
yeah, yeah. So I think the direct value add here is that we are building for marketers, right? That's not Sora. That's not any of the AI models available there. So the way we think about this is that for us, models or modality does not matter. Uh, and we say this very aggressively, in the sense that it doesn't matter if we are using Sora or VO2 or WAN 2.1 or any of these video models under the hood. What matters is that the user gets what he or she or they want, right?
And can you
Similarly,
talk
it doesn't
into
matter if the
specific of what does your platform do for me as the customer that
right.
I cannot find elsewhere? What's the actual work that's been done? That's like a
Mm,
chunk of thing
yeah.
that's gonna solve my problems.
So right. So I think it comes, we are building it out of the user intent. What is the user intent? Let's take an example. For a marketer, typically the intent is to sell your product. To sell a product, you need to feature the product in the video. Feature the product in the video, you need to show it very accurately, integrate it very accurately. Using a general foundational model, you cannot do that. But with our stack essentially on top of those foundational models, you can. Right? So what we're selling is a fine-tuned version of said models that helps solve that problem of integrating a product really well from a marketing standpoint. Right. So if you wanted to create an ad film, we worked with Volkswagen, right, and we integrated one of their cars into our ad film video. You go to Sora, you typed however good a prompt you can find, you cannot recreate that at film, right? Because there are like very specific workflows that we've used to get the accuracy of that car as it looks in and there is some amount of like a creative angle also there, right? That is that let's say somebody who's producing the video can define what the scenes are going to look like and put them together, right? And that's not solely based on prompts going into an AI vision model. There are, like, for example, we use LLMs also stacked together with vision models, right?
Do you
That's
also
something
have an
you typically
asset
don't.
library? Like do you have things that users specifically use from your library?
Yeah, so not in the product integration use case, but in the lip sync use case or the avatar use case, we are, for example, stacking together the best performing avatars on social media. What that means is you already have like the top 100 uh, faces or expressions that are likely to help you sell your video better than a lot of other things that you will try, right? So you're ahead already. And then you put in your script, which is again fine-tuned by certain prompt engineering that we've done and like sort of automated that process of getting a better script, right? So when you put both of those together, right, the best performing asset, speaking about your product with a good script, you get a great ad, right? So I think that's one of the things that we are able to do, which again, a vision model solely cannot do. Uh, there is some amount of additional effort it takes using a vision model to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the short answer to that whole Sora, what you have like on top of Sora is, yeah, obviously you can do it with Sora or a general model, but then it's gonna take you 4 months to arrive at where you are if you just
Right. Yeah.
use Vinci. Yeah.
Yeah. So the idea is there are either we've created tried and tested systems, or we have stacked together tried and tested templates, right? Either of those two things, and that's what's going to get you ahead of what other people cannot, or even if they start today, they'll, like you're saying, will take some time to get there.
Got it. All right. So for the final section of the interview, we want to bridge into solution, essentially a proposal of mine to you, and you don't need to spare my feelings. You can say this is shit, and this is useless, and you know that already. So I'm hoping to onboard you as a vendor in vibes. So, and I'm
Okay.
thinking of like having you as like a pilot of a category, right? So I want to have people with Gen AI capabilities like yourself, right? Exactly people that have that positioning. If you use my tool instead of like the generic large model, you're ahead because I have uh, some processes, some assets that's gonna get you ahead, right?
Got it.
And then my proposal to you would be that I would act as your B2C gateway. So instead of you needing to try to find users that are just normal phone users and can be anyone,
Hmm.
and it can be a venue for you to show off. Like you can tell your investors, hey, here's a hockey stick that I have of number of daily active users on Vibes on the B2C space.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
even tell that to your
Yeah.
customers. See how many people are using my tool on the B2C platform.
Got it.
So give me the rundown. Like don't what do you think?
Yeah. So I would want to think about this on a more so as an idea, obviously, like we are wanting to list ourselves on multiple distribution platforms, right? So the first blocker that comes to my mind from a business standpoint is uh, why would we want to distribute on this platform, right? Is there some other network effect also happening on this platform that will lead me to uh, be convinced to be distributing there? That network effect could be that maybe the other launches that you're doing, let's say we are defining the video category on your platform, there are maybe other folks who are doing content, there are other folks who are doing um, business networking, any of those other use cases, right, or industries. So that helps us find those other users which also have a video use case easily, right? So is that happening or not is the first question I would ask, right? Is there merits to do distribution? Second is on a technical level, right? I would want to understand, is this a deep platform integration versus if it's today not a deep integration but later will be, or if it's merely a listing, right? Those are the three possibilities. So we have been doing listings across like various other platforms. So what does it make? What makes this different? So those are some questions that come to mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me first start with that last one. So yes, there's those ones that, as you said, are listing are marketplaces.
Mm.
Essentially, you're like just saying we
Right.
exist, and then they have some user, they have some network effect. Here
Mm.
is different. It's a platform in the sense that it's a place of conducting the task itself. It's not just like a
Okay.
shop, right? And
Mm.
what we have technically is the flow of vibe coding
Mm.
simplified for the consumer. So the consumer won't see any code. They will just see iterations. So this is like the app is where you iterate on Gen AI concepts. And as a
Got it.
result of each prompt, you get an asset that then next prompt improves on. It's not like
Mm.
a textual and question answer flow.
Got
So
it.
it will need an integration, which either we do or we give you tools to self-serve do.
Got it. Got it. Understood. And therefore, what does it take to implement this? Like, what is the platform exactly where we are going to be visible, right? That's the question. So, for example, I can imagine what you just described happening on ChatGPT. Let's say, if hypothetically we were, partnering with uh, maybe not ChatGPT because they are foundational company, but something like Perplexity, right? So Perplexity works with LLMs. We become their video partner. Any video prompts on Perplexity are routed to us, right? And therefore we make money. We are getting more distribution, etc., etc. Right? Uh, and that is a deep integration because people are using Perplexity and not Vinci. So is that something that you're like gearing towards, or so I'm not able to make sense of or visualize what the platform is going to be
Yeah.
for the end user.
Yeah. So I can walk you through what we've currently have in the pipeline as an offering of vibes. As you said, like same question to me. What's your difference came on with ChatGPT? um,
Mm.
and the main thing that we've currently discovered that's worth to the angel users on the B2C side is we give them a new medium for uploading in their channels, right? So they already have YouTube where they upload videos. They already have Instagram where they upload stories. We give them this new thing that are these mini apps that are a link. So it's sid.vibes.com slash boomer test. It's a fun fun experience where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can participate in this boomer test, which could be any asset, can be video, can be
Got it.
voice, is multimodal. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's what it is.
Understood.
What's what the in
Got it.
like offering of vibes that's different is this specific new content type, interactive mini apps, and it's gonna be an
Understood.
HTML page. It's a link that anyone can open on any browser.
Got it. Got it. So we are creating. Understood. And what does it take to create something like this? Isn't that like a very long term? Um, so I get the vision, but from an implementation standpoint, right? Like for example, if I were to focus efforts on this, I there is a trade off, right? Like I'm missing out on everything else that's working outside. So and because especially because it's very foundational, it's almost like building a protocol, right? Uh, so why this protocol is something I'm not able to understand, right? Like as a user, why would I, or as a developer in your case, why would I want to develop with this protocol when there is an existing, let's say, protocol or the entire internet out there which does something very similar.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. For me to bait you into coming to this platform instead of every other option, then I need to have that network effect for you. I need to deliver to you
Yeah,
with this
yeah,
set of assumptions that we're going, right? I need to my delivery to you is that hockey stick of user growth, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so would you validate my assumption if I am at a place that I can give you that hockey stick? Is
Right.
that
Then
enough
I'd
of
be
the
happy to come, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then it's like I'm building for Android, I'm building for iOS. Why not also build for this protocol?
yeah.
Which is like interactive media apps, like
Yeah.
you said, right? If
Yeah,
I'm
it is. It
is
is.
that though? Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I would just think of it on those lines, right? It's a tech call to take based on what is the fastest growing platform.
Yeah. So
Uh, Today,
it's on me to deliver that before you are an angel user of mine.
uh, yeah, and probably not even before like we wouldn't want to join after there are users. We can join before there are users as long as there is uh, enough validation that there are going to be users, right? That this makes sense and this can be at least among the top five future platforms or protocols, right? Where apps will exist.
Nice.
Uh, and that can be in one or two ways, right? One is that fundamentally it's going to be there for any reason, right? Let's say typically platforms flourish on the basis of hardware. So you distribute good hardware that has that platform, people are on that platform,
Yeah.
right? That's how Windows or uh, even like Android, etc. have done it. There are other ways that you have a very like far superior tertiary product, which is like Chrome, right? So Chrome doesn't ship on any device, at least on the web, but still is the top browser because uh, people are able to do it. So I think that's like the trajectory. If there is any somehow we're able to show that hey, this is where we are going, and why we are going to be able to be there. If that bit is clear, then probably it's a good reason to onboard. So essentially, the trajectory to be top five, right? Or yeah, and that what is the top five? You can define yourself, right? It doesn't have to be like Android, iOS, and interactive media. It can be anything. Yeah.
Got it. I've lost your video. You
Sorry.
okay?
Yeah. No. I think I just got a call.
All right.
No
I'm
worries.
sorry. No, we will be concluding in like 2, 3, 4 minutes. As a last question for you, Sid, now that you have all the context, sit on the designer chair and design for yourself the ideal B2C platform that you would onboard Vinci to that gives you a B2C edge, and tell me what it is without try to remove your bias
Mhm.
from everything you know from the
Yeah.
conversation,
Yeah. Yeah.
and tell
Yeah.
me your ideal world. You're the designer now. You're my boss. Tell me what to
Mhm.
build.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I think it needs to be some kind of uh, okay. From a modality perspective, it's going to be voice and chat. So very similar to Chat GPT or your newer age model, Perplexity and Gemini, etc. So the modality seems to be, can I put in my query in free form text? Right? That is for sure the case. And then as a developer, can I build some kind of uh, drag and drop solution to implement it, which is um, for videos, for example. Uh, as a developer, I'm able to marry certain types of prompts to my use cases, right? And then probably you can have your internal algorithm to figure out what is the best workflow to pick whenever somebody types in a particular query, right? So yeah, I think that's the direction that I would take. So essentially, a chat window, option to voice it in or type it in, uh, and whenever I do that, it links to the correct workflow in the background, right? It should be as simple as that. Uh, so that would be my, let's say, a Vinci interactive app, uh, right? And then of course the ability to then access, and then some amount like those are features, but basically the ability to sort of link back or call back on any older creations, assets, any media that we've created before, just to sort of tag them and so on. Or ideally a memory mechanism where the tooling can understand and remember that this person had created their avatar, right? So for example, if I train my avatar on the chat window and next time I say, hey, make Siddhant talk this, it should automatically pick the avatar that I last created and make them say that, or at least do a prompt around it. So I think something on those lines. Yeah.
Yeah. No, now what you just said, I've been thinking about this. It's just like completely uncouth, not even designed yet. It's just like an idea stage, which is prompt your tool, right? So when you're in ChatGPT, you have deep research, you have like you get the drop down of tools. What if
Hmm.
you can prompt and say what kind of button you want,
What
right?
tool? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then give this both to consumer, to the end user, and to the developer or vendor, as I call them.
Correct. Correct.
Do
Yeah.
do do, do Tell me what you want. I will
Yeah.
generate.
Yeah. 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 This is very similar to what MCPs
Yeah.
look like today. Uh, but I think probably so MCPs are for developers, something like that for users.
Yes.
That you can easily like, so think about it like how Google is able to add a geauth and then we can access a Google Drive and everything. Similarly, if we were able to access any tool on your platform
True.
just by giving access, so like
Yeah.
log into Vibes and then pick the tools that you
Or
want to use on.
even invents tool that doesn't exist, like on the fly.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think yeah, that would be a very nice experience to have on, because right now most of these ecosystems are closed. in the sense that like ChatGPT only offers whatever would be
Yeah.
on ChatGPT or maybe at best Google, right?
Yeah.
So all of these AI models are closed, and that's sort of harping on their own ability to perform with like other external tools. So yeah.
Yeah. Now that you just brought it up, this is the drill down phase. um, would like we are open source and we're gonna be like everything we do is open source. Everything we on board
Yeah.
like on our end is like pure open source DNA on its own. Is that a positive for you that these guys are this app that's not corporate? That's it's not ChatGPT, it's
Mhm.
not Claude, it's not Gemini. Would it have any value in your perception, or is it just no? I don't care.
Hmm. So I think as a business owner, it may be a positive only if there is also going to be additive effects of it. So for you, the additive effect is that there will be more developers potential. For me, the additive effect is if I also open source, let's say an MCP equivalent onto your protocol, will there be other developers helping me build it or make it more efficient? So if that happens, then it's a plus. If that doesn't happen, or if there are not the means to do that, then it's just another open source repo for me.
Yeah,
So
obvious.
there,
A fork of
but
VS Code.
definitely, yeah, but definitely there's no downside to it, is
Yeah.
the way I would put it. So there is no negative. Either it's neutral or better, right?
Yeah, true. All right, that's it. Everything I had on my end. And to conclude, do you have anything that you want to be on the record added from that you think it would be beneficial to the research, or do you have questions for me?
Hmm.
Feel free, free form.
Yeah, I think as a again, this is just like as a business owner, if I were to be doing something like this, I would want to uh, hack together an MVP or some kind of prototype which I can visualize. So some of the things that we discussed, right? That a drop down that helps you connect with any any tool out there, or a chat window which links back to whatever we were speaking about, or like the previous media file or something on those lines. I think if there's a prototype, it will be just like faster to visualize um, and build for. So, for example, we've been thinking for Vinci, we've been thinking that we want to build a similar chatbot. But if there's already an existing solution, we would just want to integrate it, right? We wouldn't want to build this because for business, that is not additional value, right? For me, for you, it is. For me, it isn't. Right? To build another chatbot. So I just want to basically integrate my workflows into an existing solution. So, so I think yeah, prototyping and helping because again, from an implementation point of view, I'm still not able to visualize this, and I think I'll only be able to visualize when there's an actual product to do it with. Right? So yeah,
True. So go build Kayvon. Yes, sir. I will do
yes,
that. Okay, all cool. Thank you so much for your time, Sid, and we will
yes,
obviously
awesome,
keep in contact and we'll talk off camera as well. Thank you so much.
yes, done. Thank you.